Hey everyone, and welcome to the Faith and Fandom Millisecond Podcast. As the question is posed in Hamilton, can I be real a second for just a millisecond? A podcast where I just talk about open and vulnerable things, and not trying to fit into any specific format, pattern, or dynamic. And so yeah, here we go. Last night, I was kind of just winding down. It's been a stressful season in my life, in terms of familial health, relationships, expectations, frustrations, discouragements, stuff like that. It's also kind of been an overwhelming season, work and ministry wise, and I'm looking back to see that I haven't been doing a lot of the things that I love, or the things that I do love that I've been doing, I haven't been loving them in the time. All that being said, I'm just kind of catching up on taking some things in. And one of the things that didn't get a lot of love from me this year was watching TV shows. Like stuff where I would have probably binged a bunch of things in my spare time. Just hasn't really happened. Same way with games. Like Halo Infinite drops today. It's literally loading on my Xbox right now. And I haven't finished Far Cry 6, which was the game I started playing a few months ago. And I have a brand new copy of Guardians of the Galaxy, which I haven't even played yet. So, kind of just behind on everything. But that kind of plays out to TV and stuff too. It took me forever to watch Titans. I haven't even started the new season of Young Justice. I haven't watched any of What We Do in the Shadows season 3. And just stuff that I would normally enjoy doing. I hope to get to it soon. But I finally started watching Doom Patrol season 3. And, it's Doom Patrol's just wacky, far out storytelling in general, and having Brendan Fraser and the lady that plays Jane, the girl from Jane the Virgin, Timothy Dalton, and like all the nerd people and everyone else, Melissa Gomez from Doctor Who, and there's a lot of good stuff going on in there, but it's one of those things that it's my show that I have to watch when nobody else is around, because nobody in my family would care or would want to actually watch this show, or should watch this show, really. But so it's my everybody else goes to sleep, I'm going to put this on while I multitask show. So I did that last night, and I was like on episode 3. And just fast forward to this part of the story. I finished the whole season. Like, it's not a wise life choice. I was on episode 3, and I watched all the way through episode 10, and these are 48-minute shows. So, that being said, that's not smart. But I popped it on, and what I was going to do before I went to bed, this is like 11:30, I had an magazine, website, podcast, like one of those big conglomerate things, ask me about doing an interview. And, sure. But what they were doing with the interview was that, before you do the interview, they want you to fill out a survey, a portfolio, a profile, and then it's just like they do your basic like information up front, like name, address, email, that type thing. But literally, option 2 on the survey, like the next thing you fill out is, what's your story? And it says give as little or as much detail as you want. And so, as I was sitting there looking blankly at this computer screen, the episode of Doom Patrol that was going on started saying, well, who are you? I mean, it was literally like one of those Doctor Who blink moments where the TV was talking to me. I was looking at this screen, supposed to tell my story. And then the TV's literally like, well, who are you? Why are you? And then, like, it'd be one of those things where, like, I'm supposed to be filling out this survey. And every time I look down back at the screen, it's like something at the TV was like, no, let's seriously talk about this. And it was this weird, surreal thing. I know it's not like a supernatural thing. I'm sure it's just the way it timed out and all that. But it was weird. And it was something that literally, like, just kind of, it just kind of threw me off. Not, like, scared me or anything, but it just, like, made me way more reflective than I probably would have been. And so part of the reason I ended up watching all the rest of the season was because I was sitting there thinking about who I am. And just asking those questions and, like, who I am, why I am the way I am. And, like, you know, I'd say, okay, stop thinking about this. Just type the answers, type the resume type stuff. So, you know, it was real simple of, like, I'm a only child of a soldier and a factory worker. I met Jesus in comic books when I was 12. Started following, you know, it's like I just kind of went on with my story. But, like, as the show was going on in the background, a big portion of the show, which, by the way, I'm going to talk about this on, like, an input podcast or something else. The episode Subconscious Patrol, which you can't watch it without watching all the rest of it. But Subconscious Patrol was a masterpiece. It was a weird masterpiece, but man, it was so well done. And the outline of it was that the people, the characters, and not just the superheroes, but like everybody in the world, their subconscious traded place with their conscience. And so they had to deal with all the stuff they weren't dealing with. And there came a point in time where the subconscious and the conscience actually had to sit down and talk out their issues so that they could grow and be better people. And I was like, what on earth is happening? So, like, as that episode is getting going, I'm typing all this stuff out where, you know, I talked a little bit about camp ministry, a little bit about college ministry. And then I just started, like, in Faith and Fandom, it's this book series, and it's, like, my accomplishments, and this many things. And, like, it made me realize that somewhere in me, I've gotten to the point where I'm willing to gloss over, like, 15 to 20 years of functional, one-on-one, real gritty ministry where I actually discipled people and taught people and trained people, that I was willing to gloss over a lifetime of really good ministry and opportunities to serve and teach and lead and guide over the thing that made me feel cool. And the ministry to me that was sexier, because I felt like it made me more accomplished than the servant work of just being a servant of Christ. Like, that deep down, I feel like part of me wanted to do cooler ministry, like Faith and Fandom, because I believe Faith and Fandom is a cool ministry, 100%. And I believe Faith and Fandom is bigger than me. And I'm grateful for that. But when I was talking about who I was, trying to fill out that survey, and listening to the Doom Patrol echo my brain, it made me realize that I wasn't putting value on my journey to get where I'm at. And I wasn't putting value on all the great things that have come through my past. Sorry, scooting my desk chair. I wasn't putting value on all that God had done. I wasn't putting value on all that God had brought me through. I was letting the bigger portions of my journey be footnotes or foundation to the part that made me feel cool. And here's the thing, looking back at those things, the things that I was glossing over like last night used to be the things that made me feel cool. Like, I used to be like, yeah, but I get to run a summer camp and disciple kids, but yeah, I get to work with college kids and shape the whole next generation of leaders and, and be with people while they're going through hard transitions in life and stuff like that. To the fact that, I'm a pastor now. Like, I'm a grown up. I'm a big boy. Like, I pastor a church. And as I told my story, pastoring and shepherding the people that God has placed in my care right now literally was like oh, by the way, I do this. After I spent like 500 to 800 words talking about faith and fandom. And every bit of what I was typing made me feel icky. Like, Doom Patrol helped put a flashlight on that. But, because of just the whole dealing with what you actually aren't dealing with. But it really helped me see the fact that even though faith and fandom is a good thing, I can use it as a way to inflate my own ego and make me feel loved and appreciated, where the humble servant work of Jesus that I do on a daily basis doesn't make me feel loved and appreciated. It was like that I was placing the success, the notoriety, and the quick response and applause and praise of that ministry over my daily one. And as I sat there listening to all that was going on in Doom Patrol, now that hooked me through like the 7th or 8th episode of just like the introspective stuff. And then I just had to finish it because it was too close to the end, and it was actually going really well. But I was chalking up who I was to the things that I could point and say, these are the things that I've gotten praise for. Or these are the things I've been recognized for. Or these are the things that the world says is cool. Because I literally had a friend who's not a believer, not involved in the church, not involved in ministry or anything else like that, was talking about me on Facebook. I had ran into them over the summer somewhere, and, somebody said, hey, look who it is, and posted a photo of me. And somewhere in the comments, someone said, oh, I remember him, the dorky Jesus kid, whatever. And my friend said, yeah, but he's made it big now. He's been to San Diego and he's got a bunch of books. Like, when they posted that, it was like everything that I am beyond their success reign, like all that I've done, isn't as valuable as a little bit of notoriety. And I realized, like, from watching Doom Patrol and filling that survey out and just having like 6 consecutive quiet hours with myself, moderately quiet, or at least other people aren't in the room quiet, I realized that I'm not honestly looking at who I am on a regular basis. I'm looking at how much notoriety I can get and how much I can compensate with the world's approval, or even the church's approval, or the nerd community's approval. I don't know. It's like I want to compensate quick approval for all the times that I don't feel valued. And that's the thing, though. Like, I don't want to do it the way that's just like, look at me, I'm famous, or anything like that. It's just like, I think I want to feel like what I do has value. And it's a lot easier to do that over things that's on social media, or when people are coming to a booth or things like that, where like on Sunday morning, I'll pour my soul out on a stage and preach, and the people are gone or out the door, or I feel like I'm uncomfortable, or that like we're not really friends, or they don't really like me, or whatever, before I even so I pour my soul on stage, and just like, I literally on Sunday mornings when I preach, and the way our church is set up, we have 2 services back to back. We have one at 9:15 and one at 11:15. And I don't hold back when I do stuff. So when I preach at 9:15, I leave it all on the floor. And I am wiped and exhausted. And so by the time the 11:15 service runs around, I have no energy. I don't eat until noon, so like probably my blood sugar's low. And I'm sleepy, and I just feel drained, and I feel defeated. And then by the time that second service is over, like, I just feel like I just want to hide. And I think that's one of the things that's fear dealing with me, or me dealing with fear. But it's also like, I can be like Tom Hanks in a Castaway, look what I have created. Like, I don't have to pour my soul out every time. I can say, hey, go look at this chapter, or look what I did, or my name is printed on this, or I have this badge, or I'm a guest here, or things like that. And it just made me realize that the work I'm doing is good. 100% believe that. But I can even use good work in unhealthy ways, and turn what should be an offering to God and an outreach into my community into a way to give myself a crutch to lean on. And I've got to be more honest and open with myself and what I'm dealing with, and how I'm actually feeling about what I'm going through, because that's not healthy. It's just not. Who am I, and why am I the way I am? And like, one of the things that was repeated is that Cyborg was dealing with that a lot, and like somebody kept asking him that, but yeah, I have to realize that I am not my successes. I am not my failures. I am not the applause of other people. I am who God says I am. I am what my character says I am. I am what my integrity says I am. I am what my faithfulness says I am. I am what my focus says I am. Not just the things that I want to use as my highlight reel. And so that was a big thing. This past Thanksgiving, or like 2 weeks ago, like, not that was a year ago, a few weeks ago, a local business wanted to feed 1,000 people in our community for Thanksgiving. And they made it clear it was just a whole big thing. It's about these local businesses. We're highlighting these businesses, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And so as we went to do this, I approached the man who was organizing this, and this guy is not a fan of churches. He's got some church hurt. He's got some hurt that comes from being in a public lifestyle that does not coincide well with church opinion, etc., etc. So he is not a big fan of the church. So, and I'm pretty sure he's got some cringe-worthy triggers when it comes to the church. And honestly, a lot of people do. So I approached him. I was like, "Hey, can I serve at this? Can I bring a team to serve at this?" And so I showed up for Thanksgiving wearing like an old style newsy hat, like jeans and a t-shirt, no identifying things. And the rest of my pastoral staff came, and they all came wearing our church shirts and our church hats. So it looked like uniforms. And it kind of freaked that guy out. And he said, "I need y'all to understand," like, and he said this to everyone in the room, air quotes. But he was talking to us. And he said, "I need y'all to understand, this is not about you. Remember that. It is not about you. And if you make it about you, I'm going to ask you to leave." Now, part of me thought, this dude's just talking like he doesn't want us to be preachy or judgy or things like that. But like at the end of it, like after watching how the day played out and everything else, I truly think that he wanted this to be a spotlight for him and how good he was. And he didn't want others stealing his thunder. Now, I'm not saying that to judge him or condemn him in that. The reality is I feel that. I just think that he felt threatened in that capacity about it. And I think there probably was some of that don't over Jesus this. But as I was processing all of my stuff from last night, and I kept hearing his "this is not about you" speech in my head. Because what it made me feel like, all of this tying together, is that I took, because y'all, we were feeding 1,000 people for Thanksgiving. We were feeding people that were hungry. We were doing good works that are glorifying to God, where we're doing things that minister to the least of these. We were doing Jesus stuff, even if it wasn't all labeled for Jesus. But when the guy was saying, "This is not about you," I feel like sometimes when I am looking too much at my accomplishments, or I'm finding too much of my identity in what I accomplish, it's like I'm literally looking at God and saying, "This is not about you." And Jesus juking myself. And I got to realize I can't base my success, my status, who I am or why I am, on simple accomplishments or things that I'm doing in service of God. Because if I'm doing it in service of God, who I am is not what I'm doing. It's why I'm doing it and who I'm doing it for. And it was just a good heart and reality check in that. Not good in the fact that I was up until 5:20 in the morning and had to get up at like 7 to take my kids to school, because that was brilliant. But it was good that I was able to kind of like deflate the security blanket that I had made serving in a cool ministry. Yeah. Helped me really burst some bubbles in that capacity. And it's going to give me a lot to think about as I'm moving forward and letting go of things that inflate my pride and ego. So during that whole time where I was typing all this stuff, I literally wrote maybe 1,000 words, like almost a chapter, on who I was. And then I clicked the next button. And it literally was like, "So what were your struggles in getting to this point and the things that you did?" And I realized that I had painted so thin and shallow and almost a resume of accomplishments versus who I actually was, that I hit back and I deleted everything. Deleted it all. And I'm going to spend some time and actually look over my own heart. And I'm going to go back and give a better, more genuine answer that's not self-inflating and see where this goes. So it's good to ask yourself why and how you are who you are. Why are you you? Why are you? Why are you? And how are you? So, thanks, Doom Patrol. Thank you, God, for your grace in dealing with my stupid self. And for all y'all that are listening to this, thank you as well. I'm not going to go... because of the content, I'm not just going to go through the list and thank our Patreon supporters, but thank y'all that support, thank y'all that listen, and I appreciate you.